So we have a couple of the newspapers, but if you have some few comments, I want you to take 3 of them. Then we'll take a look at the newspapers.
All right. This one says, the government should be satisfied with the extent of punishment and have mercy for us, the young graduate, to be recruited. He is a father and he should think about his children crying and shouting. That's from Holistic in Cape Coast, still in connection with the state of the nation. And this one says, why do we need one to tell us how we feel? In actual fact, the state of the nation must reflect the life of its people. So best person is the Ghanaian themselves, and that's why we are asking you. This one says, please, Mr. President, we're sick and tired of your big English and less work, by Abebe. Abebe, I check you too. Thank you for the message. So Roland, 3 down the newspapers to go now.
Well, we have the Ghanaian Times has the lead story. MMT driver grabbed for loading bans with 89 passengers. You have a picture there of DCOP Maxwell Atingane, who is the BA Regional Police Commander. Up there we have AMA begins $660 million Accra Drain Dredging Project, and Ghana Water installs early fire warning systems. Committee proposes first Monday in November for polls. We'll see how significant that is. And BGC International note on the investigation, according to its chairman. Back page, we have water to flow in 80 other areas, and 15 electrical contractors lose licenses, all because of shady deals. So those are the stories we have on the front and back pages of the Ghanaian Times.
I'll do the Daily Graphic next. 2 constables grabbed for extortion, one dressed as an inspector. Very clever. But not too clever, apparently, because they've been caught. Full story, page 16, inside the Daily Graphic.
Very clever when he was not caught.
Yeah.
Very unclever when he was caught.
Government teachers clinch deal. I'll fill you in. That story on page 10 in the paper. Business operators declare 3-day strike from Monday. President delivers States of the Nation address today. But the banner headline, 21 children rescued in South Africa. They were sent there to be trained as footballers. Back page, in Sawam water crisis, interventions yielding results. Good news there, but let's turn our attention to page 20 inside the Daily Graphic newspaper about this deal that has been reached between government and the teachers, the teacher unions in particular. That story on page 20 in the Daily Graphic. It says that after a 3-day crunch meeting at the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations between government representatives and teacher unions, the 2 parties have clinched a deal for the latter to call off their intended strike scheduled for Monday, February 29, 2016. The teachers had served notice that if their grievances were not met by Monday, they would declare a strike the following day. It was all smiles, sighs of satisfaction and good gestures as the parties from both sides signed a 6-point communique followed by handshakes and fraternal interactions. Okay, so you see that they are smiling even in the little photo that the graphic has put in there. I hope that they will not come back and sit here and tell us that everything that was agreed has not been still followed through, so they are going to strike. So that's it.
I think they said if by Friday or by Monday they don't have what they want, based on what the agreement is, they'll still go ahead with the strike action.
Okay, so let me read a bit of the 6-point communique then. So reading the communique, Mr. Idrisu, who led the government delegation, said both parties and the Ghana Audit Service will move off-site to validate all the data in respect of salary arrears and other allowances and submit a report on verified data to the government for payment. That's the team going off-site should validate the 2013-2014 salary arrears of newly recruited teachers from the colleges of education and submit a report on same by Monday, February 29. For consideration and payments as a matter of priority. Okay. The parties also agreed that where it was necessary, the Controller and Accountant General's Department would process supplementary payment in accordance with the validated data. So you can go on and read details of that. The teachers also give a response here. They've expressed gratitude that today, this is quote, we have been able to reach an agreement. All right, this story about 21 children being rescued from South Africa. Roland gave a hint when we opened the show earlier. And it says that, okay, it continues from somewhere. Okay, stories on page 3. 21 children aged between 9 and 16 who are suspected to have been trafficked from Ghana to South Africa have been repatriated. The children, mainly from communities in the Sefi area in the Western region, were trafficked to South Africa under the pretext of training them to be sent to European countries in America to play football. The minors, who are all males, were abandoned by their trafficker, whose name has been withheld due to ongoing police investigations. At a press conference to brief the media on the issue in Accra yesterday, the acting executive secretary of the Human Trafficking and Domestic Violence Secretariat of the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection said the children arrived in Ghana on December 15, 2015. We've got details on that story, but maybe a little bit of the strike action from Monday. That story on page 16 in the graphic. Okay, so it says that 19 business associations have resolved to close down all their shops from Monday, February 29 to Wednesday, March 2, 2016, in protest against what they describe as killer taxes imposed by the government. The protest is also meant to put pressure on the government to review certain trade policies endemical to business. Roland, there's also another demonstration that's going to happen at the harbour, the Importers and Exporters Association. Yes, backed by Guta. That's happening. Today is what, 25th? So it actually clashes with the state of the nation.
I think when the representative, Mr. Asaki, came,
he insisted the state of the nation was on Friday.
We asked him whether it didn't clash with it, because logically the media will focus a lot more on the state of the nation address, and if you're a communication-related person, the best thing that you have to do is to make sure. But I think we're getting also some news from the wires, from our lead producers, that very event also has been cancelled.
So there's no demonstration at the
harbour? Yes, they won't. I think they've reached some amicable resolution to their impasse. That's the phrase we use. Reach amicable resolution to the impasse.
Yeah. Okay, if you find the constables grabbed for extortion interesting, you can grab the
paper. They're not so smart,
it.
constable.
Okay, Roland, what paper do you have?
Right, well, we have on the front page of the Daily Guide this very story, a picture there of the vice presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. He says, Occupy Ghana rejects phone tapping law, but Bawumia also fires government over $37 billion debts. In a delivery, he said, if you look at the Green Book of the NDC or government that they've published, you juxtapose it with what has been borrowed as a country. It just doesn't add up, he says. We know that is an issue that has also been going on in social media. There have been counter-argument here and there from government spokespeople. We'll see how that goes. Wedoku youth protests against encroachers. And those are the stories we have on the front page of the Daily Guide. Daily Guide.
Okay, well, let me do the Chronicle.
Please do the
Chronicle.
Chronicle.
I'll stand by for the news portals. Or let me give you the Chronicle.
Okay. We look at the Chronicle as well as the Business Finder. Front page of the Chronicle. Cholera on sale. Talks about businessman piping filthy water from gutter for public consumption. Beach Road, and then we have Inferno on court, judge rescue through window. And we know this a High Court building in Kumasi. Happened in Kumasi. On the front page of the Business Finder, we have economic delivery in doubt. Dalek CEO paints gloomy picture. And then insurance firms face dilemma. Water bill up 140%, not 67.2% as agreed. Okay, so those are the stories we have on the front and back of the newspapers. Mama View will be very soon ready with what your comments are, especially from the pages we have on WhatsApp and also on Facebook, but also bringing us a lot more highlights from what the news or the stories are on the various news portals. ForMuslimMajorOnline.com will give you City FM and the Africa page of the BBC. Mama, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Let me take this comment from James Bisum from Jabos, who says, please, Ghanaians should pinpoint what he has done and stop castigating always, please. And please, Okay, I'm not sure I get but maybe what is necessary is what I've read out. Thank you very much. This one says, I expect the president to tell us the state of Ghana's agricultural sector. That's really important. And okay, thank you very much for loving what we do on the show. All those who send very nice comments about us, we appreciate it. This one says, government reveals clearly how unfaithful Director of Education is. By the way, he is aware that government releases 1.5 million for payment of arrears for teachers. Right, Elo from Japan is saying on WhatsApp. Let's go to myjoyonline.com now. Please come up for me so I can read. Ooh, okay. We seem to have lost our connection there. So let me just read some more WhatsApp messages and then we will take sports. This one says, from Bright Wachi Adam. Of Fuase Asante Achem. Okay, so Roland, he sent you his bank account details. Charlie,
which bank is that?
It's EcoBank.
Fantastic.
Ashtown branch.
Charlie, I will sow a seed into the life of that child. You said you named the child after
Roland. He's Roland, yeah.
I'll sow a seed in the life of that child.
So this one says, Dr. Baumia is always quick to tell Ghanaians how hard the economy is, how much each Ghanaian will get from Woyomi's money, but the hypocrisy, he's not telling us how hard the microfinance saga has cost us in their take when voted into power. That's from Noah in Bolga. All right, we have myjoyonline.com now. Your Excellency, call is... Okay, so this is an audio of the CEO of Dalex Finance sharing his opinion on SME financing.
Thompson.
He speaks his mind. I love him.
Yeah, I met him. I met him 2 days ago.
Okay,
and at Alisa Hotel. Yeah, I think he came there also for an event also.
Okay, he's a fantastic giant. That's Roland's way of telling us, oh, he had lunch at Alisa. Thank you.
Yeah,
all right, Your Excellency, call is too dirty for Ghana. That's an opinion. If you find it interesting, you can log on and read. Let's get to the next story. NIC blames low insurance penetration on lack of public confidence. Jeremy Clarkson apologizes to Top Gear producer. Really? So those of you who perhaps like this program on the BBC, is on one of the BBC TV channels, Top Gear. Jeremy Clarkson has apologized to the Top Gear producer. He punched after settling a 100,000 pound racial discrimination and injury claim. So he was one of the hosts. In fact, people really loved him until he did this act with the producer of the program, and then he was sacked from hosting the show. Now we're told he's apologized. That should be cool. GBC workers 10 guns on board. Apparently, workers of state broadcaster, the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, are accusing the board of bad governance, and they insist they will not let the Director General have another term, an extension of
Well, the thing is that knowing GBC as I know, is it the problem with the management, or it's got to do with the people in there? Because we're always told the GBC is overstaffed, and really for the things that they do, and you and I have been experienced enough in the profession to know, I think sometimes they overstaff. And logically, whoever is a very prudent management person that comes, will want to cut costs and so want to downsize.
But if you listen to the details, they're not cutting down costs. They're using the little they have to buy new vehicles and things like that. Yeah, and they don't have equipment, they say. But it saddens me because if you look at private media, what people are doing with little money, and the assets that GBC has sitting there.
Yeah, it's because they make money. They have to spend a lot of it to pay people. I'm telling you.
I think they have too many people working there.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons.
Roland,
and they have whole offices in various regions. How many of the stations in Ghana have whole offices? They have correspondents. They have things that they can do. And then if you want to deploy equipment and facilities for programming, you can always do it from a certain point. You don't need offices in each region. You can do, let's say you can have a north and south office or a north and south zone office. That's all. You don't need an office in each region.
It's sad.
It just doesn't make
Ghana
prudential financial sense.
It's really sad. The whole compound of GBC, Accra, their national office, is a studio.
Can house 20.
The compound itself, forget about the in-studio, the outside is a studio. Can you imagine? Okay, that's it for myjoyonline.com. Let's quickly run through City FM Online. Patrick Gomez is my director this morning. Mahama presents State of the Nation address today. We expect nothing new from Mahama. Oh, Charlie. That's opposition saying so. Doomsaw not over. It could return soon, according to an analyst. Government agrees to pay teachers 1.5 million Ghana cedis. These are some of the stories. We'll do the Africa page of the BBC quickly, and then Benedict's will come up. Okay, so Ebola devastates long-term health. Most people who survive infection of Ebola will have long-term health problems, according to doctors. Oh. Children sue TB Joshua Church over collapse. Remember this, the collapse of the building, Roland, sometime last year. So the story says that apparently some children are suing the pastor of the church, TB Joshua, over the collapse of the church. Some
members of the church will say they are satanic.
Yeah, they are against. Okay, so this message says security. We want the president to come clear on the Dagbon issues. Where are we with regards to implementation of the roadmap he so loudly touted he would ensure get implemented? When there's agitation, it means there's concern, but the government decided to be mute on it until something odd pops up. Then they run helter-skelter. What message has the government for the Dagbon area? Okay, so that's essentially what you're interested in. We're getting lots of messages on expectations, Roland. We'll find time and share a lot.
Yes, we'll find time. As always, if you want to give us a lot more of those messages, make sure that you log on to our page on Facebook. Joy News on TV is the page's name. Right now, we're streaming live on YouTube, and the channel's name on YouTube is My Joy Online. But please, through the number 0560 800,000, you can give us a lot more of your comments on our WhatsApp platform.
Yeah,
somebody has already.
This is the final one, okay, Charlie. This is cracker. I don't see the significance of the State of the Nation address. I think it's a waste of time and resources. Okay. The Parliament can use this time to deliberate on important information issues.
It's stated in the Constitution that the President has to give the State of the Nation address.
This is Sir
if he doesn't like it, he should go and amend the Constitution.
Bechim, and he says he's just waiting for November 7. Good morning to you too. He should go and what? Amend?
Yeah, I think the Bechim viewer will amend the Constitution on November 7th.
Oh, it's like amazing. One people at my school can even address the State of the Nation.
Let's see how that goes. But talking about State of the Nation address, we're bringing to you live previews before that very main State of the Nation address that the President, John Dramani Mahama, will be giving to the nation before the August House of Parliament this morning. And already we have a large swath of crew who have been stationed in various parts of the capital, but also the frontages and also the various sections of Parliament to make sure that we bring you the best preview as it is for the live State of the Nation address. So it's right here, but make sure you log on to our social network pages on Twitter, on Facebook, and also for WhatsApp platform using the best hashtags you can get on the State of the Nation address.
Good morning to Joshua Tete Adam. He's getting mischievous on our WhatsApp platform. Coming up next is sports. I was sending Benedict to Europe, Charlie, somewhere like that, Spain, to go and play football.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But it didn't work out.
Yeah, he didn't have the legs, really.
Yeah, man. He looks sporty.
He
but
does?
I don't think he's got the stamina. Hey, that's what they say.
Yeah, his legs are too thin, like mine. He can't play football. I think he can play softball, though.
You can play what?
Softball.
Which one's that? Oh, yeah.
Small post. Oh, gota.
Stay with us. Benedict has a lot more sporting news for us this morning on the AM show.